Hello, welcome to my equine facilities project video. Today we're going to be going over my project, but since I chose the second option, which is building it in Minecraft, I'll explain and give a demonstration on how this works. Keep noted that this was very expensive to make for myself, as the barn was already built before I even was assigned this project, but yet again, that's a little history for this barn. First, you could see here I added a little drain system for cleaning purposes. For example, when I'm cleaning the stalls with water, I could just clean it, mop the place, and then the water would just simply drain right here. These are stalls, stall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 right there. The rest of the stalls are outside, but have their own insulation and everything. As we could see here, some of these stalls don't have insulation because, first of all, it's big. And for ventilation for the horses, I added these iron barred windows. But there is a risk of the horses burning themselves, but since this is Minecraft, real life logic doesn't really apply here, so make sure to keep that noted. So as you see here, I use trapdoors, wooden ones to be exact. The wooden trapdoors, they were more effective to be used as, well, areas to close and open the window. If you touch me again, I swear I'll jab you. Excuse me for our little incident. Our buddy here decides it was a good idea to crash into our party. So let's go back inside before he brings any more of his friends that decide to jump me. Alright. As you see here, you're questioning why is there a small pasture area in my barn. It's very simple, exactly. The main reason why I added this to the barn is because, first of all, there could sometimes be too many horses and not enough stalls, so these areas serve as temporary, like, resting areas for horses for at least a night or two. In total, there's 12 horses inside of this barn. And due to the lack of resources I have, since this is survival Minecraft, I have to work with what I got. So this is the bedding for the horses in case if there's two unlucky horses that don't have to live. Also, this is their feed, which is the hay bales. The main reason why I store them in here is to prevent them from getting wet and exposed to moisture heavily. Hold on one moment. The doors, I designed them to make sure it fits for a horse, but it's not designed for a person that's riding a horse too well. Basically, it's not designed for a person to ride on a horse because they would hit their head still. It's just designed for the horses. And in order for you to move one of these horses, you gotta use a lead. Those are one of the most many rules I have in my barn. Unlike other barns where they have like a big opening, mine has a system where it just where you have to use a lead to move your horse around. These ones over here, the stalls 7 through 10, or no, it's more like 8 through 10. These stalls, you could still ride a horse on them without having to worry about, well, hitting your head, because these are about 5 to 4 blocks tall for the entrance areas. And just like the other ones, they have ventilation windows. But they're indoors since, well, it's built on a part of the lake. Just like with the main barn, it has a drainage system with some running water in there. But yet again, since this is made out of stone, I don't want to really break it, since, well, it could turn to cobblestone. You know what, I'll fix that later. Alright, continuing on with the tour, Here is the watering area where the horses get their water. And over here we have the the equipment and saddle room. This is an area where we store brushes for the horses, the armor pieces and leads. Same with the saddles and helmets for people who want to ride them. And this is an area where we just store equipment and materials to either repair the equipment or either make new equipment in case if some of them are too damaged to the point where we cannot fix them. And currently we're low on supplies due to, well, construction and also some minor inconveniences and supply shortages, but yet again, I do assure you that we will resupply on materials to repair saddles and everything. Over here we have the loading area. Unfortunately, I did not get the time or at least the amount of resources I needed to make a new trailer, as the other one I currently had is away for repairs. So for now, if anyone wants to buy a horse or get the horse out of the barn, they would have to use a lead that I have right here in order to get them in. And if you're wondering why there's two gates here, sometimes the horses cannot fit in there, so there's two gates needing to be required. This one applies to the stalls as well, because the horses could get stuck sometimes. Sometimes they're a little too big. Some of them are small enough to fit through a block sometimes. And the pasture area, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it. It's big, wide enough. And I had to do some modifications. The fencing, okay, but I had to do some modifications to it due to geography purposes. As due to the geography, this barn was built. It was built near a hill, so I had to do some unconventional ways. I even had to get rid of some of the pawn. As you see here, this is the riding area. This is the area where you could ride the horses, do whatever you want with them, or try and get them to calm down a bit, test drive them, whatever. Next we have is the wash rack area, or the cleaning area. This area is used to clean the horses. As you see here, there's a big tub of water here in case if we have horses that have a lot of dirt or grime or just dirty to the point where they just need to get like a shower right there. Just like with the barn and everywhere else, the interior has a drainage system. And yet again, this is necessary. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Also, this is the area where we... sorry for the inconvenience right there. How do I... You know what? Never mind. Excuse me for the inconvenience of burning myself. Right now this is a location, or right now this is currently an area where we do boil the water here in case if it becomes cold. And unlike the rest of the areas, we don't need like of trapdoor ventilations, because we could try and use the fires down here to, well, cook or boil the water, but we boil them to a degree where it doesn't harm the horse. It just makes them comfortable. But also, it's also kind of used to keep water temperature normal, so that way the horses are used to drinking the water. And over here we have the storage for the horses. Since there's no machines in Minecraft that could cut horsehair, we're gonna have to use the scissors. The old-fashioned ones will have to do. The brushes will be a substitute for most horse brushes. The crafting table, in case if you want to make some new shears or something. For safety purposes, when a fire is started, I had to build the entire... What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Come on. Excuse me one moment. I'm having some issues with these horses. For obvious reasons, these are made out of stone, and the entire building is just made out of pure stone bricks, and the support areas are made out of wooden logs from the nearby environment. I had to cause a mini deforestation for all of this. Let me see. These designs are, well, fortunately the good news is that the horses don't usually go through here, as this is for people. And this is made out of some deep slate material, and I'm not sure if the horses could even walk on it. So horses are not allowed. For safety reasons, we do add the stone, normal stone blocks instead of cobblestone, because cobblestone is too bumpy. Deep slate, I'm not even sure if it's even safe for the horses to walk on, but yet again, actually, let's just cut the recording because I might have to fix this real quickly. Alright, and we're back. Alright, now let's go on to the safety part of the project. For obvious reasons, since this is Minecraft, I had to make the stalls about 3 blocks wide, and also about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks long as well. So far I try to make it as comfortable as possible for the horse for obvious reasons. And also, yet again, like I said while I was explaining during the video, the drainage is for cleaning purposes as well, for the health and safety of the horse, for its health. And parts of the horse's bars are made out of entirely, well, out of metal for safety purposes, because the horses, realistically, the horses would chew on the wooden parts of their stalls if they're not let out as much. So for the horses that are not let out as much, or just eating the wood a lot, they would be placed in stalls that don't contain a lot of wood. For example, these ones right here. The metal is for their safety as well, to prevent any health issues like pieces of wood getting into their lungs or body in any way. Also, for the horse's safety, yet again, if in the event a horse were to get in case of the event of a horse getting having some issues in the stall, you could oversee them up here to see if they're doing okay or not. You might have to actually go downstairs for yourself on stalls 1 and 2. Stalls right here, you can see how the horse are doing. And the rail guards right here, they're for your safety as well. Also, you could see in the mini pasture on how the horses are doing, how they're doing, if they're acting aggravated or angry. And right here is the storage room. This is where all the seeds or oats or plant-based materials that the horses could eat go. Currently it's a little understocked because most of the hay bales are already out, being given to the horses by this point. Also, horses are not allowed to enter here for obvious reasons. And plus it's 2 blocks tall, meaning no people can enter, meaning this is about the size that a person could fit in, meaning a horse is not able to go in here. And it's for obvious safety purposes for the horse, because yet again, some of the equipment could be sharp or just straight up, could injure the horse by accident. And my assistant here, who oversees the inventory and equipment and tack repair room, he oversees it, and his name is Bob. Bob is the overseer of this room, so he's going to be looking after it. Plus, he does, realistically, he does help on checking on the water barrels of the horses, making sure if they're fine or not. Also, yet again, the pasture area, this is also for the horses' health and safety for obvious reasons, as this is basically an area where the horses hang out if it rains. And there's also roofing outside to cover the horses as well, where the horses could like stay under a place where it's dry and nice, so that way they don't have to go through the rain. Plus, it prevents them from losing their mane right here. For example, this horse right here, his mane is already fine and okay. The fencing is purely made out of wood, but I do have to. If you touch me one more time, I swear, I am gonna... Excuse me for the outburst. These things have been annoying me every single Minecraft day, ever since I got started on this project. The storage area for this... Wait, what's this area again? The loading area, since we don't have a trailer currently due to the lack of supplies and resources, and obviously not enough time as well, I had to do some improvising. So this will be the loading area where equipment would be received, or if someone bought a horse, they could get their horse here. But yet again, for obvious reason, this is an area where the horses could only temporarily stay, as it's not made for long periods, as yet again there's no grass to eat off of here. Plus, there's no drainage, meaning Bob would have to go clean this area thoroughly and dump any waste in the nearby lake over here. And as you see over here, this is where the horses get some of their food from. Most of their food comes from the many farms that I own over there. If you see the fences over there, if you look real close, that's where the horses get their food from. Nice and safe. Also, their barrels, or realistically their barrels and water, come from wooden bowls, or whatever you call them. Also, the fencing in the pasture is made for their safety as well, as usually some of them don't really like hop off or hop over the fence for obvious reasons, as realistically predators would have already killed them. But due to the fencing and everything, it does protect them. But due to geography and safety purposes, I had to make the fence a few feet higher for the safety of the horses. Let me take you a tour around the fence real quickly, so that way things would go smoothly a little bit. As we see here, we did have to take a little bit of, we had to cut some corners due to supply issues, but yet again, we did try and reinforce the dirt as much as possible, but yet again, it is good to do. Plus, at least it's going to protect them from predators, as yet again, predators are a bit more discouraged since, they could potentially fall off from this height or either injure themselves, so the predator won't be able to do much. For example, if a dog were to jump here, realistically, they would have probably have an injured leg by now. So yeah. And right here is the arena area. If you're wondering why there's like a light post right there, realistically, there would have been no need for it, but in Minecraft, mobs do actually spawn, so this is also for the safety of the horse, since, the horse, if we're like having people ride the horses at night, and if a random mob, for example like a creeper or a zombie were to spawn here, or a skeleton, it would probably knock off the rider or scare off the horse realistically, but also a creeper would be really bad, as it would destroy the arena. We would have to close it down temporarily. And the fencing, the extra fencing is just for, it's just to make sure the horse stays in the arena. But yeah. But yet again, this light post will only be used for moments when it's like nighttime. But so far, since it's not nighttime, I might as well tear it down for a little bit. So yeah, basically that lamppost is made to protect the arena, and yeah, that's it. Also, I already reviewed the safety of the area to prevent the entire place from burning down, like I explained. The fire and everything, and the entire building had to be made out of stone to prevent the fire from, well, causing an accidental, well, burn down of the structure. Plus, it's near a wooden stable, so it's necessary for it to be stone. Plus, I think, yeah, I think I went through everything. Let me see. Also, some of the doors as well, I forgot to mention it. Some of the doors are going to be 2 blocks wide as the horses in Minecraft, but also realistically, the doors are able to, well, allow them to fit in, meaning if the doors were 1 block, they would just get stuck, and realistically, that would have caused the horses to, well, get stuck and potentially suffer an injury. Horses are obviously not allowed to enter back here because of, well, deep slate. And when I had to cut the recording, I had to do some minor modifications yet again. And if you're wondering how the cobblestone, or how I got some cobblestone, I had some left over, which was the last of the supply. So far, this is it for the tour. Also, I gotta go over some other safety things for the horses. For the health, like I said yet again, the main reason why the trapdoors are only opened from the inside is because, well, they're, despite it being knee deep, we don't really have, well, hold on, let me just, there we go. Look, right now if you're wondering where that lake water is going, it's going through the drainage system. It helps remove some poop and also some unwanted waste from the ventilation, or not ventilation, drainage system. Realistically, we would be unable to, well, this is mainly for the safety of the horse caretakers. As yet again, realistically, if a storm were to happen here, since this is a very big lake, we could face like some strong like tides or something. Plus, it's connected to multiple rivers, so it's for the safety of the rider and caretaker as well, for obvious reasons. So it has to be open by indoors. So far, I believe that's it for the tour. This area, there's like no use for it if you're wondering. This is just an extension or small indoor pasture area where the horses get some grass to eat, but also get some water to drink, since, well, this is the drinking area. Plus, there's some random Also, if you're wondering yet again what's with the lampposts, including this one right here, like I said earlier, this is for the horses' safety, as yet again, mobs spawning inside of the pasture at night. Sometimes the horses can't get inside of the stalls sometimes, and sometimes there's just too many to take in. And overall, this is yet again for the safety of the horse, for obvious reasons. So yeah, this concludes my tour of the of the, well, this concludes my tour of the equine facility project. This concludes my tour. I would like to thank you for watching this video and taking your time. And if my classmates are watching this, I would also like to thank you too for, well, for watching this video as well. Same with the teacher. So far, this is it. And overall, have a good day, people. I'm gonna go take a nap because this took way too long than expected to build this.